Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to aggressively shift your psychological framework by unpacking the exact cognitive operating system of high net worth minds. Look, if you're ready to actually transition from being just a consumer to a master producer, you are exactly where you need to be. We're going to look closely at the hidden systems, the psychological traps, and the undeniable mathematical truths that dictate financial abundance. Let's dive in.
So think about this for a second. Why does one person build a massive generational empire while another is just struggling paycheck to paycheck when neither of them has any inherent advantage in time, right? They might start in the exact same city with the exact same education. Well, the answer doesn't actually lie in how hard they work. It lies entirely in their cognitive operating system.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The invisible war, 2. Tactical mindset shifts, 3. The engine in the pool, 4. The leverage multiplier, and finally 5. The battle plan.
Part 1. The invisible war. Let's look at the battle for your attention and your capital.
Listen, the modern economy is literally designed to drain your capital by hacking your dopamine. It's wild, but poor financial habits are rarely about a lack of intelligence. They're actually just a symptom of an uncalibrated mind. Every app you open, every ad you see, every retail store you walk into is meticulously crafted to trigger an immediate emotional response. The traditional consumer seeks a dopamine hit through spending, buying new shoes, ordering takeout, upgrading gear, but that leads straight to financial depletion. To win this invisible war, you have to flip the script entirely. The wealth producer gets their dopamine hit from building, from creating, and from acquiring assets. If you want to build wealth, you have to fundamentally rewire what gives your brain satisfaction.
Moving right along to Section 2, Tactical Mindset Shifts. This is how you actually protect your capital.
Okay, so changing your overarching dopamine loop is the big picture. But on a daily basis, you need ground-level tactics to plug your financial leaks. And the number 24 is about to become your new best friend and your absolute boundary against that algorithm-driven economy we were just talking about.
Enter the 24-hour rule. It's a total game changer. When you feel that sudden urge to impulse buy, you are strictly forbidden from purchasing it right then and there. By forcing a 24-hour pause, your emotional, impulse-driven amygdala actually cools down. And this gives your rational prefrontal cortex the time it needs to take back the wheel. I guarantee you, 90% of the time, you'll wake up the next day and realize you didn't actually need or even want the item. You just really wanted the temporary dopamine rush of clicking buy now.
You also have to ruthlessly audit your time. See, poor people spend hours to save pennies. Wealthy people spend pennies to save hours. Let's put this into perspective. If your time is worth $50 an hour and you spend 2 hours driving across town just to save $5 on groceries, you didn't save money. You actually lost $95 of potential value. It's a crazy shift in perspective, right? You've got to start automating or delegating anything that falls below your hourly worth.
Section 3. The engine and the pool. Let's break down asset velocity.
Think of these 3 steps as the literal life cycle of your wealth. In Phase 1, the kinetic income phase, you are the engine. You're not obsessing over cutting out $5 coffees here. You're focusing on skill stacking to scale your active income by thousands. Then, in Phase 2, velocity storage, you resist the urge to upgrade your lifestyle the second you start making more money. Instead, you channel that excess cash into a dedicated capital pool, kind of like an ammunition fund. And finally, Phase 3 is automated multiplication. This is where your capital is deployed and separates entirely from your physical labor.
During that third, automated multiplication phase, you need to diversify into 3 specific buckets. First up, defensive assets. Think index funds using a dollar-cost averaging strategy. Second, asymmetric assets, like digital IP and AI workflows, which are built for high growth. And finally, cash flow assets, like real estate, to give you that long-term stability. This right here is your exact blueprint for creating a self-sustaining ecosystem using the money you generated back when you were the engine.
Which brings us to Section 4. The leverage multiplier. This is how we scale past 7 figures.
Archimedes fully understood the incredible power of mechanical leverage thousands of years ago. And today, this historical truth translates perfectly into how we multiply our own financial and creative efforts. You can't try to lift the world with your bare hands. You just need to build the right lever.
While traditional forms of leverage involve, managing human labor or raising massive amounts of capital, the absolute sweet spot for the modern entrepreneur is permissionless leverage. This is where the magic happens. By utilizing software, AI automation, and digital media, a single video or piece of code works for you while you sleep. It costs absolutely nothing to replicate, requires zero permission from a boss, and scales globally 24/7, 365.
And permissionless leverage inherently ties into this beautiful concept, asymmetric risk. Wealthy minds are constantly looking for asymmetric ratios. Think about it. When you dedicate 10 hours to scripting and building a digital asset, your absolute maximum downside is simply those 10 hours of time lost. But the upside? If it goes viral or gets picked up by algorithms, it generates automated leads and revenue for years. The downside is strictly capped at zero financial loss, but the upside is mathematically infinite. No ceiling whatsoever.
Let's lock it all in with Section 5, the battle plan, your exact 12-month blueprint.
Here is your execution timeline. Months 1 to 3, the cognitive reset. You're going to track every single penny to face your numbers head on and build a 3 to 6 month emergency shield to kill that baseline survival panic. Moving into months 4 to 6, engine assembly. Choose a permissionless leverage vehicle and start building consistent systems. Then, months 7 to 9, arbitrage reinvestment. This is crucial. Keep your personal expenses completely flat and aggressively reinvest 100% of your new profits back into your systems. Finally, months 10 to 12, wealth autopilot. You'll set up an automated sweep that pulls a fixed percentage of your profits directly into compounding assets on the exact day it's earned. You essentially train yourself to live on whatever is left over after investing.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. At the end of the day, money is really nothing more than a reflection of the value you provide and the discipline you exercise over your own mind. The market simply does not care about what you need, it exclusively rewards value. If you spend your time chasing status symbols and feeding those algorithms, you will stay trapped, for sure. You have to make the ultimate choice today. Are you going to protect your cognitive energy, master your mind, and transition from a dopamine-driven consumer to an empire builder? Which path will you choose?